Welcome to the new podcast by the Soccer Rebellion, where we talk about what's going on underneath American soccer and what's going on in the real culture. To my right, we got Sargent, all around athlete and AD at Lee High School in Grand Rapids, Michigan. To my left, we got my brother Eric Dublis, football coach and COO of the Soccer Rebellion. And to my far left, we have Cesar Alayo, Bridge Street League All-Star, futsal All-Star, and now soccer coach in Grand Rapids. Welcome to the pod. Welcome to the conversation.
We're gonna start the conversation off kind of discussing about what is wrong with the American soccer scene. So, Michael, I kind of want to let you start here and talk about a little bit of the pay-to-play system that we're seeing right now in the youth soccer scene.
Yeah, well, I mean, they think we can all talk to it, right? And that's the whole mission behind what the Soccer Rebellion is to flip the model that's obviously not working here. So if we're making comparisons to Europe, we're taking comparisons to South America, there's something that's off because of the number of people we have here and the lack of passion that we have behind this game. So there's a ton of reasons for that. Like, for instance, the game basically had an absentee for 20 years after the 50s kind of surgence of the game, and we were in the World Cup finals, I believe. And then all of a sudden it kind of dissipated. And then you had these other sports on the rise, like the NFL, the NBA, and then, of course, the MLB, which is America's pastime in a lot of ways. Soccer kind of missed its opportunity to gravitate while those other sports were creating identity in these cities and never firmed roots within these cities to create any identity. So if I'm going to say anything about what's missing for soccer in America, it's because it doesn't have tribal ties to cities and these cultural kind of appreciations. Like, Eric, we're New Yorkers. Like, we live and die by our sports teams. They're ingrained in who we are. Dre, same thing to you with Chicago. Cesar, I'm sure. But Cesar, what's interesting about your perspective, because you are Colombian.
Cuban.
I'm sorry. Damn.
Sorry.
My bad. I don't know why I said Colombia. But Cuban, like, this is a little bit more in your life, bro. Like, you have more passion behind the game probably because it was more ingrained in your culture, whether it's your parents' culture or whatever it was, because you were still born here in the States.
Mm-hmm.
But growing up, there was probably still a little bit more, reference to the game. The game was probably more around you and your family.
Yeah,
Is that correct?
Yeah, like how you said, how you guys all have your sports teams, and then you were to ask me what's my favorite sport team.
Yeah.
It's not even from here. My favorite sport team is Barcelona. That's in Spain.
Yeah.
In Europe. And I rep it like if I was from there, and I never been to Spain once.
Right.
You know what I mean? And it's like, I think it's kind of rare for somebody to be like, their favorite team is a team from MLS, or it's
sure.
like somebody's like, LA is my favorite team, or, and things like that. And it's funny too, because we're from Michigan and we can't even rep a team because we don't have a team in Michigan, So it's kind of tricky when it comes to supporting a club and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I think we're missing out on. Like, when you mentioned that Michigan doesn't even have a team, right? I mean, Chicago Fire. I'm from the inner city of Chicago, and now we're starting to learn, right, about soccer, and we're starting to get some big name players. I mean, even when we look on the women's side, I'm more of a women's soccer fan, to be honest with you. So you got someone like Mallory Swanson, right? Like, she played on the U.S. team, but she's also now, I mean, we see it. The young girls now, they have something to look up to because they're winning. Mm-hmm. So I think that's another big thing in the U.S. is when you're a winning franchise or a winning sport, people gravitate to you.
It's easy to jump on the bandwagon.
Yeah. That's an interesting point that you bring up. So like domestically, if you look at our sports, right, and everything that we have, NFL might be the outlier, but you still have its like core teams that are notorious for being champions. So NBA, you have Lakers, Celtics, right? Those are and Chicago Bulls, right? Those are kind of the championship teams. And then you have in baseball the Yankees. Let's not talk about anyone else. Maybe the Dodgers, okay? And then you have in soccer.
What do you have?
Columbus Crew.
Yeah, I would. That's kind of
that's like
that's kind of the thing. But the thing is, and what's crazy about it too, like when we did our MLS tour last year, the disconnect between players like Cesar that play the game all the time, that are on the streets, that understand the pickup culture, there was no connect, to his point, to the MLS teams.
Yeah.
The MLS fan base was craft beer.
Right.
And to a soccer player, I'll say this straightforward: that shit's kind of corny.
Nobody cares about
No, yeah, it's kind of corny.
alcohol.
No, like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just it's almost a fan base that's like a third party fan base. I don't know if that makes any sense, right? They're doing it because it's another activity they can have for themselves.
Yeah.
There's no identity tied to it. Eric, you got go
So,
ahead.
so what you're saying is there's a lack of culture.
Yes,
There's a lack of culture here in America. So how do we take that to the next step? Where do we start? Is it in the youth system? Do we need to start there? Is there a spot that we need to focus on more in the MLS, or where can we build this culture, and where does it need to begin?
So I think that's a loaded question, because and a lot of, like, the answer to that, I guess, would say is loaded, right? There's a lot of different ways. So the biggest thing that I would focus on is passion. We need to instill passion somehow, some way, organic passion. It can't be parents, hey, play this sport because it's a team sport and you're going to learn these different things. That makes soccer not the primary thing. So how do you tie the identity of the game into more than just the game and have it mean something for the city? The city needs to be able to provide something that gives glory back to the city. Right? Like that's like Yankees do that.
Definitely.
Knicks do that, even though they don't win, but somehow it's so much part of the culture, right? Because a pickup basketball scene. And I think that's kind of the essence that we need to mimic, is that. Like, the game is somehow part of that city. So when things happen that are good, and it means a lot to it.
Resonates.
Yeah.
Resonates with everybody.
It
I mean,
resonates.
all I'm hearing right now is when the Bulls were on that run in the 90s, right? I mean, people were breaking into, the storefronts and everything like that. It was out of excitement, but it was like a thing to do. We're winning so often. Like, we won 3 in a row, right? And then Mike took a couple years off and we won 3 more. But I just remember being a kid, like, peeking in my mom, like, supposed to be sleeping, peeking through my mom's bedroom and seeing, like, Jordan doing his thing or whatever the case may be. But I think Mike is, like, spot on with that. Like, when you're a kid growing up and, like, you see some cool shit happening, like, you want to be that.
Yeah.
And Michael Jordan inspired
So,
the world, right?
Yeah.
So
I think
That's a really good point.
I would say, to like summarize it up, I think it's tradition. Every team has tradition. Like how you said, there's times where your team sucks. There's times when your team is great. But it's like, if you're a real fan, you're gonna ride through it, through the bad times and the good times. And I think right here is like, I think Michigan has probably one of the best fan bases. Like, you see the Lions, like, they sucked forever. I think this is the best years the Lions have ever had, and you've seen packed house. Obviously, everybody wants a Super Bowl, but at least they were there for the bad times, and they actually got to see them actually win. And like how you guys said, it starts from the kids. But where's the tradition to follow? Who are the idols for these kids growing up? Most of these idols I would say, could be a player in Los Ganchos, could be a futsal player, it can be maybe a D1 player, but then after that, it falls off. What's next? And so in a way, it's kind of a cool thing, because then it motivates players to make that. They want to write their own story to be that idol for people to see them, But it's just so hard to look up to things when it's just not there.
Yeah. And I think, and to your point, like the way that you're skating about, like what you're saying, when you're saying that, to me, that's opportunity.
Yeah.
Like, but what we missed, that 20 years off that we had, we missed, like, that foundation of sports being new and that fandom being new and gravitating to a team.
Yeah.
Like, we missed that. Now we're at a point to where we have to create a new tradition, a new fandom in this sport, and we don't know how to do that.
Yeah, it's like we don't have the formula, but I feel like the formula's always been there, though.
Agreed. And for me, like, I gravitate towards NYCFC, especially now because they're going to be creating a stadium in Queens. Like, to me, that's instant.
They used to play at the baseball field too.
They do right now. They still play Yankee Stadium.
Which makes it like,
City Field.
which makes it even kind of cool, though. You know what I mean?
They
Like,
play City Field?
Yeah, they're playing City Field now.
yeah.
They
split.
Oh, they did. I didn't know that.
That's what I mean. So that's cool, though. Like, knowing that there's history in that stadium where you have the GOATs in baseball, but then you get to go there and then watch something new be created.
Yeah, but that's my whole point.
You know?
It's still not original. It's still
Yeah.
carbon copying to some extent. So
But I feel like the U.S. does that though.
But I think soccer is its own entity where let's shift the lens.
So let me
Let's shift the lens.
Dre, go ahead.
Hold
Dre,
on,
go ahead, Dre.
Appreciate it. So this is my thing. When we're talking about this, the Chicago teams, they just actually got they're gonna be doing something down in the McCormick Place area because right now they play at Soldier Field, but they are getting their own. So that's a good point.
Who else plays at Soldier Field?
The Bears.
Yeah.
Oh, so,
Good
there's-
Yeah.
so that's a
But
football
Fire
stadium.
did.
Yeah,
But Fire did.
Yeah, it's a
football
football
stadium.
stadium, but it's owned by the Chicago Park District.
Oh,
Right,
a
so it's not
public-
owned. Right, it's not owned by the Bears.
Right.
So now the Fire, they're all getting their own space, like
Right.
what Mike was just
Saying, yeah.
alluding to. So I think that the shift is happening right before our eyes, and we know we have number one, the Olympics coming. We got the World Cup coming. So I think everybody's trying to get ahead, of those things. But I think everything's heading in the right direction. We're talking about what's happened in the past, throughout our childhood. But I think these kids, we're setting them up for something, big.
So I'll take that and I'll say yes and no. Like, there's still a lot that we're doing wrong. First of all, the Federation for the U.S. men's, for U.S. soccer, I'm not going to say the women's because the women's obviously are killing it.
Right.
But from the men's side of thing, is completely disorganized. And they're not doing anything to help themselves.
But you know what? Like how you say that though is when you look at it, why are the women so good? Their best players, where do they play?
Here.
Here.
Yeah.
But that's but that's what I'm saying with the Federation, right? They're not doing anything. So what? So MLS next, right? Let's go to the youth side of things, right? On the youth side of things, what's happening now is everything is being pushed into streamlining talent. So now you're trying to pyramid this thing to MLS next.
Right.
The Federation used to have what they called the Academy. Okay, so it was the Academy before it was MLS next. That did not go well because the way that clubs got into the academy system, it was more whatever the credentials were to do it was inappropriate in the sense that they would be traveling around the country and you would have these club teams that were like a local Grand Rapids team playing a team in Chicago and they'd be losing 11-0. Right. So who does that benefit? No one. Right. So the competition isn't fair and it's not even. So from a youth perspective, MLS Next is supposed to change that. Right? But it's still so much a money grab that they're still missing so much fundamentals if we're going back to passion. And it's more of the elites because it costs so much money to get to the next level. It's completely segregating right off the bat. If you can't afford $5,000 a season plus travel, you're done. And so it's not getting the best of the best. It's getting the best of who can afford it.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that's not it. That's not it. Basketball has it right in a lot of these senses because they go through the way recruitment is. I mean, and you know what? I know there's a lot wrong with, what is it, UAA or whatever? AAU. I know there's a lot wrong with that, but still they have high school that you're being able to get scouted. To me, that's the micromanagement of soccer that it's already trying to do, and they're trying to recreate this with the MLS Next. If you let the best players play in high school, the system's already there. Mm-hmm. It's already there.
Yeah, high school, college.
Yes, it's already there. We don't need to compete in those seasons and let the off seasons be what it is. Yes, for sure. Those players that are here will go here and play in whatever off season is in spring for it. But let high schools don't compete with it. That's the first chance for them to play for community. It's the first chance to create that passion. You're stripping it from them.
And that's what I like how you said that because it comes to that tradition thing.
Yes.
You play for your high school, it feels like you're playing for you bleed. When people ask me, they're like, where'd you go? I went to Wyoming, and when I played there, I felt like I had to bleed for my school. You know what I mean? Like it wasn't more like, I could have transferred here and played with the best guys in the area and go get a check.
Right.
It wasn't that. It meant more winning here because I'm from here.
Yeah.
And if we actually were to win something, this shit goes on forever.
That's what I'm saying.
So let me ask you, Dre. I want to move this over to you as we're talking, and I'm hearing a lot about the system and all that being flawed. Do you think the issue could be with the youth and with the coaching that we have going on right now? It's too structured. We're not letting the young kids be free enough to learn the game and develop their own passion and their own style. And then when they do get moved up, into that college realm, college is almost more of a fallback. That's not the primary development way.
So this is what I would say, because I want to kind of piggyback on something that Mike said. So when he mentioned just the AAU basketball scene, and then it initially like hit me that when it comes to college with basketball, right? They're going now, hey, do you get NIL and you go play at a big school, right? Or do you go straight to the minor league system for basketball, right? So you get some players like Ron Holland, who plays for the Pistons. He didn't go to college. He went straight to the D League. G League. You know what I'm saying? Went to the G League.
That's what the Balls did too?
Yes. No, the Balls, they didn't do it. He went to, the Balls went to overseas.
One's a rapper now. He's got a banger.
Yes. Yes. So, and I think that MLS Next is similar to that,
100%.
right? So, like, it's, yes, not to AAU, to the G League. And so instead of giving these high school kids opportunities to represent their high schools and their neighborhoods, you're now pushing them to the MLS Next because they feel like this is what's going to get me quicker to the pros, right? So that's how I feel about that.
Well, we know it's interesting too. Like, if we're going to compare it to the other sports in America, I think soccer is actually more along the lines of hockey.
Yep.
Hockey has those junior system, and back even when I was in high school, like a lot of my friends play hockey. The good ones didn't play for high school; they played for juniors.
What's juniors?
Juniors is basically the MLS Next.
Yep.
So it goes juniors B, juniors A, and then it kind of went to AHL, or it went to the Canadian. I think it was like the Ottawa, I don't know, Canadian Hockey League. I don't know what it was. But those were like those streamlines, and then maybe even juniors was your way to get to college.
Just to college, though.
Even to college, but college was a good. I think a system, but it was so fragmented in the sense that where you draft from in the NHL was not specifically from schools.
It is very interesting when you see an NHL draft that they have. You'll see it's like, okay, this guy came from this college, but like your first 4 drafts came from like Saskatchewan, like Bigfoots. Yeah. And it's like, what is that? I don't even know what that is. And it's this juniors league that they have going on that the best are going to.
But you know what's crazy though is like, I would say, football is probably the biggest sport in the U.S.
100%, not even.
But look at their system though.
Mm-hmm.
High school, college,
3 years.
draft.
But here's
minimum 3 years.
And there's barely one and dones.
You can't.
There's no. You have to go through the years of college in a way, which is good because you still are getting your education, So, and it's the biggest sport here, right? All these sports, NBA, soccer, NHL, MLB, I feel it's like they're so invested in the youth in a good way, but it's just they're trying to take so many shortcuts that it explodes everything.
So I'll say this.
You know what I mean?
Soccer is not being invested from the youth system in a good way. I'll say that. I think that is 100% looked at. How many clubs do I see popping up that are not from soccer players opening it? They see it as a cash cow. It's someone that owns multiple businesses. Right. So they're looking at it as in a sense, as a factory. And we know, Cesar, there are not enough good coaches to go around. You have a club that has more than 20-something teams. Bullshit, you have 20 good coaches.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
But at that point, it's like when you compare it to like, I want to say, as a businessman, right? You guys are business guys.
Yeah, kind of.
When you're a businessman and you try to invest something, right? Obviously, you want pros. You want to make the money. There's a question to you three. What is the sport? If you guys were a businessman, where do you see the opportunity to invest? And what sport would give you the most
Football
income, right? Football, but why?
Advertisement.
I think it's going to depend a lot. It's going to depend a lot because everybody loves football and all that, but how do you want to separate yourself? I think obviously if you're a sneaker brand, football's not going to get you nearly the sales that NBA is.
Right, because they look at the shoes.
Right, they're wearing the actual shoe in the game. So there is differentials, but yeah, you're going to be in one of those top NBA, football, or MLB.
But that's why I say soccer is like that big, huge question mark.
Mm-hmm.
It's the big, huge question mark because when you compare the teams, like the top teams in the world, the soccer teams are the ones that bring in the most out of all the teams in the world. In the world.
But here's what's interesting, right? So look at American sports. What do they all have that soccer doesn't? Stoppage of play. What does that promote? What does that allow? Commercials, advertising.
Right.
So for a capitalist society, soccer doesn't fit because of that, right? The game is just the centerpiece, and that's what it is. So everything else around it doesn't get nearly as much attention. We all turn to the Super Bowl and we look forward to the commercials.
Yeah.
You watch the NBA,
It's crazy though. That's
right?
That's crazy.
So, but the thing is, like, soccer can do that. Soccer definitely can do that. Like, Barcelona's finding ways to attach itself to the American market with the new Mamba jerseys,
Right.
with
I
Spotify,
said that to you. That's
right?
crazy.
Like, there are ways to do it, and I think what's missed is that there's a sneaker game in soccer.
Oh yeah, of course.
You know what I mean? Like, we know.
Every soccer.
And I think there's more of a street culture behind it that's just not done. And I know we're going to talk about Nike in a second, but there's so much opportunity there. And so I do got to say one thing. I'll stop because I know I'm on a rant. One thing I missed before I say it. Where MLS missed, and this is kind of a roundabout way to get with bringing in Messi, best player in the world, arguably the best player to ever play the game. They'd never highlighted an American next in. This was your time to bring up American players, and they didn't. They totally missed the mark. Again, install. If that would have felt tangible to an American player growing up, that's that glory we just talked about.
Yeah.
I got to play with the best of all time here in the United States. All of a sudden, that glory is, that's attainable in the United States.
But
That's a dream.
do you think that comes like after though? What if like he retires and then comes?
He should be doing it while they're here. It should be when he goes to each city. What Americans is he going to play? But the MLS already has that problem because they're not promoting Americans as is.
So let me go, Dre. Sorry.
Look at the big, what we look at. Look at the big threes, right, or the duos, right? So you think back in the 90s. You got Magic, Kareem. You got Pippen and Mike, right? You got John Starks. You got Pat. I mean, all of these guys, that's something to say with that. So when you do put like a Pulisic next to Messi, what does that look like? You know what I'm saying? Like, he's obviously already popular in the States, but Mike's talking about bringing a younger kid up, right? So that's my whole thing. Now these kids are looking at it, now they're Miami fans, right? Because they got Messi, and then, but you got the...
We've got like Messi and Luna.
So,
But that's crazy how you said that, because something that rubbed me off so bad was when Messi first got on the team, right? This player named Robert Taylor. Robert Taylor is from Scotland, though.
Mm-hmm.
Dude's terrible. Trash. Trash. Messi comes onto this team.
right.
No,
Right.
no.
got that camera.
Right.
Messi comes on this team, and the dude starts balling out, going crazy. Me as a new fan, I think about it, I don't watch MLS. I started watching MLS. Yeah, I started watching MLS because my favorite player is Messi. So obviously every game he plays, like literally when he subs off, I turn it off. I don't want to watch it.
I see.
You know what I mean? But then I start seeing these other players. I'm like, oh, dude, he's pretty good. Like, you know? But then what happens, what Mike said, the dude gets sold the next year.
Right.
And then they just bring more Argentinians and stuff like that.
There.
You know,
The whole
you know what I mean? And then I'm like, dang, I low-key, he was good. I was starting to be a fan to this player, and then I can't support him no more because I don't even know who he plays for anymore.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean?
Go ahead.
So I want to. I hear a lot, and I hear like everything you guys are saying. But one thing that I kind of think is interesting, if we look and we're going to go, this game is global, right? It is huge in Spain. It is the biggest game in Italy. It's the biggest game in France. Their pathways there are they're literally taking 14-year-olds, and they have an academy, and they're not doing what we're saying we should do. And America, I think, is trying to do that. And I think that's where America's faltering, is we are trying to be Spain, we're trying to be Italy,
Correct.
we're trying to be France, instead of saying, no, this is how America develops our players.
And that's a good point. Like, the way that we develop our players should be catered around the fact that, yes, they're going to be a basketball player, they're going to have played baseball, they're going to be more of a complete athlete. And what's crazy at some of these development academies, they play basketball at the academies to give them different movements that they wouldn't get from soccer that will give them a competitive edge. Like, like there's something that we're honing into, but the problem is you have a good example for me is Odell Beckham. He played soccer, was on the pool for the U.S. men's national team, like I don't know if it was national or if it was regional, whatever it was for ODP, but then obviously he was like, I want football. Like our best athletes are never gonna choose soccer right now.
But it's crazy how you said, because now that you say that, me as a high school coach, when I go to other teams and like the best teams, usually their best players are multi-sports. You know, you have
Mets.
you have players and they're goated at 3 sports. But then it's like when you compare it to like the players like in Europe and stuff, they ain't never touch a basketball, they ain't never touch a football. All they did was play one sport. You know what I mean? So I think it's in a way it's kind of tricky because then it's like you can't tell a player, hey, you should play this sport because it's gonna benefit you more. You know what I mean?
But to Eric's point, what I do agree with what he's saying is we don't agree on any pathway here. If we were just to say, yeah, creating an athlete is fine, and then molded a new brand of soccer player, like if I think of, let me ask you this, Cesar. What's the brand of U.S. men's national team soccer? If you had to give them like an identity, like what characteristics
Like
would you say?
characteristics from it depends what era though.
Valid, because right now is more tacky than it ever has been.
All right, I'll give you this. I'll compare the national team from the 2010 World Cup to now. 2010 they had Landon and Dempsey. Those 2 guys were like everybody's doubting us. Fuck everybody, basically. Sorry if I'm cussing.
No, you can curse.
They're like F everybody, is us against the world. We're gonna show everybody that we can play here.
How American is that?
Yeah, that's
Underdog mentality. We like. I feel like as Americans, like Rocky's our shit. The underdog story is like what we crave. Like, and it stems from 77-6, like beating the revolution and all that stuff against England. Like it's kind of ingrained that we have this like a rebellious nature. We want to build this from the ground up. Like that blue collar mentality to me feels very American. Like there's a reason why that Drake song went nuts here.
But
Started from the bottom, now we're here. Like that kind of mentality is it's in our movies, it's in our music. Like it's just part of our culture. It's kind of ingrained. And I think that's that. Like there's a reason, whether you know it or not, went to that team.
how do you push that mentality though is the big thing.
But that's what you don't fight it. You don't put Des there. You put the guy that's gonna work his ass off.
Yeah, not by the name, but you're trying to say. I feel like America does that a lot.
Yes.
Where they put a player, say, oh, he plays here, he should start.
Yes.
You know, instead of the guys like he's gonna work his butt off and play for his team.
One of my favorite players of all time is McBride. And I don't know if you know where he is, but that's because there was one of the times that he played and he came out with all bloody, all up here, but he worked like that. I associated myself with that. That Dempsey, that Donovan team, I associated with that. Like that's felt like they felt American to me. Like the way we play now, I love Tyler Adams. I think he's the evolution. But then what did we see? We saw Tillman now in the Gold Cup.
He was nice.
He's the real deal.
He was nice.
But he's not even like.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? But what is American at that point? What's American at that point?
France is the same way, right?
Yeah.
France, half those guys are from Africa. Like that's not real.
What is American at that point?
What I'm saying is like to me, it's athletic, it's fast, and it's physical. That's American
That's
soccer.
American.
So I'm getting you two talking a lot about this, and you guys both soccer. I'd love to get Dre's perspective on this, coming in from an outside as an AD. Like, what is your thought on this?
Well, I mean, when he brought up the 2010, I instantly remember like Chicago having watch parties. Like we was, man, come on. We, like I said, I've never really played soccer growing up. We didn't have it in my neighborhood. But during that time, I was like fresh out of college and everything. And that was the thing that we're doing. Like we literally linked up at bars and we just went to these massive watch parties. And then that kind of like helped like not become a fan, but it was like, man, like this, we can't wait to the next one, right? And I think that's what this World Cup's gonna do this time around.
A question for you, Dre. How did that make you feel when, let's say, like you said, you're an outsider, you play different sports, right? And you see like the national team play. Like what I feel like you still felt that pride, right?
Oh, 100%. We had, I mean, there's pictures on my social media, man. We was rocking, you know, the socks, and we was rocking like, we're wearing all type, like we were literally going to buy all of this stuff because we're going out, like just like this is a hang now, like just like we would for the NBA Finals or whatever the case may be. We're doing that for soccer, you know. So again, when we say we missed the mark, I don't think that we're as far this is, again, my perspective. I don't think we're as far because we got people like the Soccer Rebellion, right? That we're taking the necessary steps. Yeah, we're like, I ain't gonna say small, but we're small when it compared to what everybody else has going on, but we're doing it the right way, right?
And that's okay. That bodes into the Nike thing even more, that we're going to talk about authenticity and being organic.
So
the spicy
before you get too far into that, I want to ask Trey one more thing on that. What made you dive into that team? What made you love that team? Was it the fact that they're winning a couple games? They look like they might actually make a little bit of a run, or was it the players? Was it just the mentality? Was it your age? What made you really start diving into that specific team?
Was 2010 South Africa?
Huh?
Was that South Africa?
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, that was it. Well, yeah.
Yeah.
2010.
They did pretty
Sorry,
good.
sorry.
Yeah, they did.
We lost to Ghana?
Yeah.
And we lost to Belgium the next time.
No,
No,
but Ghana.
Belgium was later.
Ghana-
Ghana was the one where
yeah.
Michael Bradley forgot to mark the guy down the middle and just let him score.
Michael Bradley's overrated. We can go talk about that all day.
Oh,
Okay.
Dre.
But go ahead, Dre. I really want to hear what made you get invested into that.
Number one, it was just the camaraderie. It's bringing everybody together, right? So that happens when you win, like I mentioned earlier. So that's really what it was, man. It was like, hey, we won. Okay, when do we play next? You know what I'm saying? It was literally like a Tuesday, and obviously I work in education, so it's summer vacation. So it's a Tuesday. Whatever the game is, we're going out and we're watching this game. Like for real.
Yeah.
You know, so like, and then like again, every time when a World Cup happens now, we do go out to the parks, right? And we just mob in a crew and we watch the games and everything like that.
What I said, tradition.
Yep.
Dre wasn't accustomed to it. He found out what it felt to be in that like that atmosphere. He liked it. He put it into his day-to-day life, and now it's part of his life. It's a tradition. Now, so let's say he has kids. We all have kids. You kind of like, hey, let's watch a World Cup game. Now your kids see that, and they grow up. Oh, I remember when I was with my dad and my mom, and we were watching the U.S. play.
Well, the last time we did when they played Russia. In Russia. In 2000, was it 2018?
Oh, yeah, it was 18.
Was it 8? No, it's 2020.
Yeah, 18,
It's 20.
18.
No,
Every 4 years, bro.
I know, but 2026, 2022 then.
No, 22 was
Well, the next
Brazil.
one's 2026. No.
Yeah, it was Brazil. No, was it 18?
The 18 was Brazil.
18 was Brazil.
The last one, because the last one was in the winter. That was because of
Oh,
COVID.
no,
or-
Qatar.
No, Qatar.
That's Qatar.
Qatar.
That's
Qatar.
Qatar. You're right, in Qatar.
Qatar.
But wait, there was one in Russia, though. What
Yeah, there was before that.
that was,
Or was that the Euro?
oh, 14 was
That was the
Brazil.
Olympics. That was the Olympics.
No, 14
Yeah,
was
maybe.
Sochi.
All right. Anyway, regardless. So it was in Qatar, and they couldn't do it in the summer because it was too hot.
Right, that's Qatar.
Okay, dude, we did our thing, the England match at Garage Bar down the street.
Yeah, I went to that one.
2,000 people.
That's nice.
2,000 people. Yeah. And we did a whole little street soccer thing outside. Like, that was a dope. Like, that felt like, all right, soccer's coming. But then when the spotlight is off the World Cup, why can't we get games that mean much? That's the problem.
So my thought, really quick on this.
Like, you watch any national team game, Gold Cup, Nations League, right? The stands are empty.
My thought on that particular thing is I got a couple things, but the big one is we're talking about the NFL, we're talking about the NBA, we're talking about the MLB. What do we have that national teams don't get? There is no regular season. There is no build-up to this playoff of the World Cup.
True.
And that is
There is.
That is
Qualifiers.
but not like what we're accustomed to here in America, where
Right.
I'm going to watch the NFL play 17 games, and then I will know their record, and they go right into the playoffs.
Right, that's true.
So there is, like, as far as the American sports fan goes, that model doesn't work in their head because they don't get to get invested as much. So that's why I was curious as to why Dre got invested in 2010. And the thing that got really interesting to me about that is we kept talking about 2010. I think maybe Dempsey, and I don't even think Dempsey was playing overseas yet.
No.
2010.
No, Dempsey only played at Fulham like 2 years, and that was like late in his career.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there
He
was
was at Seattle or something.
right. We didn't have
Donovan might have been over there, though.
Right. Donovan only went
He
to
was
Germany.
Everton. No, he played in Everton too.
Yeah, in Bayern. That's it.
Tim Howard was overseas.
He's the only one.
But what I'm saying is,
That team.
Tim Howard was.
our team now,
He's the one you should be talking about.
our team now, we didn't choose to talk about as having that passion, having that want to watch, and we have all the players are overseas right now.
Yeah.
Now, that's all we heard about forever. Our players got to go play overseas.
Europe.
But now we're talking about a team and saying the team that was in 2010, where we're all American players, we like that one better.
That is true.
So where is that? That's a huge juxtaposition right there. Is why are we saying we need them all over in Europe, but then we like the team that's American? Maybe it's not about the players playing in Europe. Maybe it's about the American system. Maybe it starts at the youth. Maybe we're not getting the right people. We're not building the right system. We're not putting together the right places so that we can have this team of American players that have learned on American soil, that are still playing in American soil, and I can go watch at MLS every year, and now I can follow them to the World Cup.
No, that's valid. It's just not there yet. That's valid. You're right. And that becomes like the cart before the horse, like type thing, right? Because right now these players that are in Europe are making the right decision because look at what they're making. But they're making $8 million a year. Like, but here's the thing: you want to
blame him for that.
You want to talk about this? What if Pulisic was playing Messi
in MLS?
in MLS?
That'd go.
Bro, that game would go crazy.
That would. Best guy in the U.S. supposedly Captain America.
And my money would be on Pulisic for a second.
And you would get that fandom.
But I would love to see like Pulisic.
You would get that American fan base now.
Yes.
But Pulisic now would damper his development. So that's the thing.
Because the top level is not here.
Right. You're not going to get that development here, but you're not going to get the fan base until we get that development.
But you know what's crazy how you said that, Eric? Because
You need one to sacrifice.
Yep.
I want to
You need a player to sacrifice his development because if a great player plays here, then it's going to lift another player to say, oh, I can now play against this guy and be almost as good.
But is it the player that needs to come,
Yes.
or is it the system that needs to improve for that player to come? See, I think it's the system. Well, I think we need to build a better system.
Yeah, but the thing is, our system is working if we're selling it all to Europe.
Well, it's the same thing for the WNBA.
But
WNBA had the same problem. WNBA had the same problem, but they
went to overseas.
girls are going
Yeah,
overseas.
that's what all the girls
Really?
is going. All the
Yeah,
girls
they
have to
do.
go overseas first, and they talk about it now because they had to play longer over there just to make the millions of dollars.
I seen somebody's record was like 13-30.
Yeah, they playoffs. Yeah, but that's the whole thing. And some girls right now they have to go over. Some girls still have to go overseas in the middle of the WNBA season, and then and contract, and then come back. Right? Yes, they still doing it right now. But even like 10, 20 years ago, whatever, when the league first started, it wasn't really an option. That's why they keep fighting for equal pay and all of these things. It always comes down. It always comes down to the money, like every time.
Shout out to New York Liberty repeating this year.
I like what's her face?
Sabrina.
Oh,
Who y'all got?
Liberty.
Liberty all day.
Liberty. Oh yeah, they're doing it again.
I ain't gonna lie.
I got Sabrina's shoes.
I got fever. I got fever going on.
I like.
All right, that means you just don't pay attention. I got
No,
you.
I pay.
Cable's,
I pay attention to Chicago Sky, and I see all the bricks by what's her name?
Here we go. Here we go.
And
now,
Reese?
I gotta get on you. I don't want to have to do that.
Hey, no doubt though.
I'm gonna show you what. Hey, this the whole thing. We talking about it. Let's give her some love right now, right? Got her own Angel Reese. Got her own Reebok shoe coming out. Got to deal with Reese's. Got the cereal, and she's also and she's also been the player of the month the last couple of months. So that means she's putting up numbers, right? So hey, shout out to Angel.
No, shout out to Angel Reese for real. Just make your layups though.
Sabrina, what's up? All right.
Hey, Cameron Brinks.
She's bad though. I think she's bad.
She's gonna kill it.
Yeah, she just got back. She played the other night.
Be like,
We're going to take a quick break here, and when we come back, we are going to switch topics slightly here. We're going to talk more about the street ball game and Nike's attempt to get involved in it. All right, welcome back. So we are going to now switch topics over to, what we can do to make the American culture better. And one of the ways that a lot of people have kind of used has been this soccer rebellion model of the street soccer, kind of bringing in that hip hop, bringing in that flow of using the American culture and infusing it with the soccer culture that's already existed in that street soccer that's around the world. We've seen now Nike kind of dabble into that with Travis Scott. And my personal opinion on it is that Travis Scott is trying something, but I think he's falling short. But I'd love to hear you guys' thoughts on how that is falling short and what is inauthentic about this and what is working about it.
So first of all, love to Nike, right? As far as when it comes to apparel, Rebellion, we rock it. Check us out on our website and everything. That they're a brand partner of ours. Nike, as far as apparel goes, has cornered kind of the culture market, the lifestyle market in the ways that I associate with and that I like. From sneaker game to athletic wear, I primarily wear Nike, and that logo to me goes a very long way. Working with the people at Nike, I've only had great experiences for sure, and I know Dre, you have too. So shout out to Illy, shout out to Brian, shout out to everyone over on that Nike team. Tim, we are big fans of the people that are working at Nike and doing certain things. Travis Scott and what Nike is doing right now feels recycled. The way that they're bringing back Total 90s, they're bringing back Ronaldinho. Much respect to Ronaldinho. Ronaldinho doesn't need to be done. That OG stuff, I actually I do think is tough. But in a culmination of everything else they're doing, it's falling short on what I think made Nike, and by taking chances and being original. It feels inauthentic. Travis Scott coming into the soccer realm specifically because he saw a market that he could kind of take over is obvious. And that goes back to, I think, what we talked about, players in America understanding how the game was sold to the suburbs and not necessarily being what's best for the game. And then you having players from South America, from Europe, understand how different the game is here compared to where they have it. That inauthenticity is something that you're weary of and you're always kind of looking for, right? The scope and the lens. It's like you buying a new car and then all of a sudden seeing all those cars on the road like that. Oh, I didn't realize everyone drove this car. Like, it just feels like you're hyper aware of things that are inauthentic as a player. And I think as a player, you can see that more. I think Travis Scott is trying to gravitate a broader audience to come in and say, yo, we got this thing going on. But I can't help but feel what they're doing is corny.
Let's take a deeper dive though, Mike. So
It just feels corny. It doesn't feel like that's soccer at its roots. Like, if you, I'll say this. If you were to bring Travis Scott to a soccer rebellion, to the Bridge Street League, if all of a sudden Travis Scott showed up into something that already existed without him, that's going to exist without him, that's authentic. That's him showing love to the real culture. Not putting this on and saying, hey, I own this culture. Oh, and by the way, this is a Nike event. This is all Nike. Nike's making this dope. Because when that place leaves and it's done, that doesn't exist anymore.
Right. Let's let Drake.
yeah. So when I say let's take a deeper dive, so I do the merch for Soccer Rebellion.
Great job, by the way.
Appreciate it.
Yep.
So when they add a name like Travis Scott, it's beyond just sport, right?
Yeah.
So Travis Scott has collaborations with Michael Jordan, right? With Nike as well. So he has top selling shoes, every year. It's one of the hardest sneakers to get. So Nike saw an opportunity to say, okay, let's pair a guy that we know is selling the units with this sport that we need help with elevating, right? So when that comes together, that's why they get a name like Travis, right? Even if he doesn't know much about the game of soccer, it makes it an easy relationship, like they put it together. Kind of like Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift, right? You take somebody that's winning a lot, and then you take Taylor Swift, who is global, right? And then you put them together now, like, hey, they're on the same stage, right? Now she's at the Super Bowl. Now she's doing all these things. That's the same thing Nike did with Travis. It was easy for him, you know, to connect them.
I do want to say one thing that from my understanding in conversations with Nike is this was actually Travis Scott's idea a little bit. Because Travis Scott actually is a big soccer fan. So he does kind of understand. So I don't want to say like he might not understand the game, but he is a fan. So this is not a guy who's just coming out of nowhere just to, oh, we're going to put him next to soccer. He actually is a fan.
Right, but I never said that he wasn't. I'm just talking about from a merchandise standpoint and moving units. We know this is a money thing. Like it's always a money thing, right? I mean, like we talked about being authentic with the Soccer Rebellion, when we collaborated with Nike, it was for what? What we do on a daily. Like this is our lifestyle. This is what we do, right? We're not doing this for money. We charge teams a little bit or nothing to compete in our tournaments, right? And then we add the youth element to it as well. So that's the difference. And I think that's what Mike is speaking of when he said it's not authentic, right? So, you know, shout out to Nike, right? They're doing their thing. I'm a huge Kobe fan. And when Kobe made the low top sneaker, because Kobe's also from, right? He was born, well, not, he was born in Philly, but he was overseas, right? Yeah, Italy, right? So Kobe was hip to the game early, and we talked about that dual sport thing. He played soccer as a youngin'. So that's why on the defensive end, he can move his feet, right? But when Nike got involved with the shoes, because he was Adidas first, then he went over to Nike, 2010, which sounds like a magical year
That's
now,
like
right?
one of the best years.
So the Kobe 4 came out, and they cut it. They made the underneath under your ankles out of airplane seats, right? So to stabilize them. So, but the Kobe got the idea from soccer cleats. So now you see all the low top shoes. It was influenced. It was influenced by soccer. So I said that just to say like they've been trying to mesh that hip hop world, that NBA world for a long time. Now you got the hottest guy that's selling sneakers right now, and it seems like it's an easy match.
Yeah, but again, who did they pair him with? Vinny Jr. Where's like Nike? First of all, you did the Michael Jordan thing. That is your biggest lesson that you got that pushed you into basketball, that put you in the stratosphere. Before you were just a running company.
Yep.
But you did an American player. You globalized an American player. What you did that was different than anyone else is that you put it around a player rather than a sport, right? You marketed around a player. Where is that originality? What are you telling me? This guy Travis Scott, that's a poser in soccer, all of a sudden is going to be the guy that's going to put on for soccer because he likes it? If I went and was a fan for the X Games and I like skateboarding, I can't go in there and put on an event because I like skateboarding, because I know what a 50-50 rail or whatever grind is, and I play Tony Hawk. Like, Travis Scott has no business trying to be the face of this sport. None.
So let me ask you, Cesar, something. As you are a face that is a representative for the street soccer league here in Grand Rapids, for the Rebellion, for the Bridge Street League, you're one of the top players. People come to watch you. When you heard about the Travis Scott and you saw that and you found out that he was flying in players into a separate community, how did that, like, as a player in this community, if there was an event for Travis Scott where he brought in other players, how would that make you angry? Like, where would you feel about that as somebody who represents our street soccer culture?
That's a tough question. I think what I would say is like, I feel like Nike is so big of a company that they don't have to do much to make things pop.
Okay.
Right? And that's where it goes to Mike, where he's saying is like, if you have that brand that's so big, why not dabble in something that's growing and push that? But obviously it's gonna take a little much work. But I mean, you as a bit like how we talked about earlier, as a businessman, you don't wanna do all that hard work. You're gonna just cut corners and do whatever gets the easy pay. So as in flying players and stuff like that, it's like I feel like Nike just has to do a little bit more research if they're gonna dive into the street culture, because it's, in a way, it is the same sport, but at the same time it's not. You know, the best players in the world come from street soccer.
Yeah.
Ronaldinho, Neymar,
Zidane.
Vinny, Zidane, all those guys. You ask them like where you play, they're like, I grew up playing in the streets, you know. And we have that opportunity, like how what Mike does, where he's pushing that, basically the gutter, you know?
Yep.
Pushing that where it's so natural here, And it's actually embracing the guys to actually have opportunities to actually play that high level and then have that in their backpack where like, oh, I can do this and that because I grew up playing in the backyard, you know? And with like Travis Scott, you know, in a way we were talking about, it's cool, you know, obviously because he's popping right now. He has the shoes. It was crazy. I was just scrolling through my phone the other day and
I don't even like his sneakers.
I seen a guy with Travis Scott cleats. And he's like the only one that has them, you know. So that's
Soccer cleats?
yes, bro. It's fire.
Yeah, everything is custom right now.
Yeah, it's
bro.
customized. Obviously, when you pro, you can get what you want.
That's
you know?
what they doing now.
You know, but I thought it was pretty fire. But it's just like the event was like how you said, you know, they're promoting that New Jersey, the T90. You know, I mean, obviously it's
What'd you say?
it's commercial. I thought it was whack. I'm not gonna lie. I thought it was whack. I think, from my perspective, would have been cool to actually get real street players and promote them to that culture. If you're gonna do that culture, it's different if they were doing 11v11, right? If they did a little tournament and it was 11v11 and they were having Travis Scott there and Benny and all those guys and they're doing 11v11, okay, that's cool. But once you dive in a different world, why not bring the guys that actually are doing that right now? For example, us, you have great players. At Grand Rapids is one of the biggest cities, I would say, in street soccer and futsal, because I like to compare futsal with street because it's a 5v5, you know. But like I was telling you guys, in Colombia, they have their own street league where these guys are actually getting sponsored. You know, they're actually like are idols to people in their country from street soccer, you know, and they also play futsal as well, which is another growing sport, you know. So if you're a big company, why not use your leverage to get that? Because I feel like if you can push that, nobody will be able to
Exactly what I'm saying.
to mess with you. Nobody will be able to fuck with you. If you can bring something that's growing and bring that to the top, you have that. You basically have that kryptonite that nobody has, that everybody is scared to dive in because it just takes too much to invest in, you know? So that's probably like
It really don't take too much to invest in because we did this, right? With you guys. You guys had the photo shoot. Y'all got up early, right? And then we had the women's team that also did the photo shoot as well in Chicago. And we had Mindy was there, right? So shout out Mindy, shout out Hannah. We appreciate everything that you have done to this point with us, that we get to put the check
On the shirts,
consistently
right.
on our stuff.
Right.
But the collaboration, again, I think it could go much further because what we
That's the
had,
thing.
you know, down in Tennessee, like
That
that
was
was
fire.
something that I've never seen before. And again, that made me want to even dive more into the sport of soccer, but also be a part of the soccer rebellion,
Exactly.
like on another level, right? So, you know, I think that Nike, they still can make it right. It's not like that. It's, you know, it's one thing. Like, so they got an opportunity to still hey, again, let's get us in a room. Let's talk about it. Let's figure out what we can do next to help push this sport, the sport forward.
In a way, it's like AI, I see. AI used to always break the rules. You know, they changed the dress code because of
Allen Iverson.
You know, he never won a chip, but he was cooking. You know, he brought a Sixers team that was terrible and brought him to the finals going against Cole. You know, like just being just being adversity basically, you know? And I feel like if you are so big of a company, why not push that, you know? Why not? If you're going to safe.
But
They're too comfortable.
But here's the thing.
Comfortable.
That Travis Scott thing just happened. Besides Travis Scott, tell me the soccer player name besides Vinny that came out of that tournament.
Nobody.
I'll wait.
You don't know. You don't know.
That's the whole problem.
And that's why
You're not promoting the culture.
And that's what I meant. Well, like, why not grab real players that play the sport of street soccer?
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. It's the same sport. You're using the soccer ball, but it's in a way it's a different sport. Like I grew up, I played beach soccer, I played street soccer, I played indoor, I played outdoor. It's all soccer, but it's all different kinds of soccer.
It's all problem solving at a different level.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So if you're gonna use that world to push something that you're trying to push, why not push the real guys?
And the thing is that
I think that's my only problem.
no, but the thing is that we tapped into as a soccer rebellion, and I'll say this before anyone else really tapped into it, was the street kind of lifestyle that's not, it's just kind of fit, right? Like when I was playing up, when I was growing up playing, watching the game was a little harder to get because we didn't have it as readily available as it is now.
Right.
So what I was watching was VHS's, DVDs that I got from Eurosport, the magazine, or going on YouTube that had these like Euro music mixes. Anything behind soccer didn't have like an American culture to it. When I'm showing up to the field, listening to Tribe Called Quest, listening to Biggie, like listening to Nas, listening to, Cameron, Jay-Z, whatever that was, all East Coast rappers, if you didn't notice.
What about Wayne?
And Wayne, no doubt, Wayne. Wayne's the GOAT. No doubt. We want to get into that topic. Wayne's number one, and we can stop there.
What you think about Nas?
Nas is on top 5. Nas is top
It's
5.
crazy that everybody says top 5 Nas. I ain't never heard
Because
more
you
than
don't listen
2
to it.
songs of Nas.
You understand?
know, isn't enough.
You don't listen.
I was a Biggie fan. I'm a Biggie fan.
How old are you, Cece?
26.
Oh yeah, that's why.
You relax.
Yeah, that's true.
We ain't gonna get on you like that, but that's why.
That was Tupac. But
No, man, Biggie got one too. Biggie got one too.
He said his favorite song was Macklemore.
Thrift Store.
Thrift Store.
Big
This
Thrift
shit
Store,
was
yeah.
fire.
No, it was not.
That's
the
Listen, it makes sense.
These guys go.
Fire.
You know it's not.
That's fire.
But hold on.
No, it's not, bro.
Those-
That was the coldest white dude in the game at that time.
No, he was not.
He was better than Vanilla Ice.
Hold up. If you saw Caesar's pants right now, you would understand why Fifth Store is his favorite song.
I get these from the thrift. I got them from Sheen. Yeah, that's the same thing, bro.
That's the same.
All right, so let's get back on topic. Michael, I want to ask you this. This is something that we've actually discussed a little bit as we've done the rebellion. We've done tours. We've gone to cities. And one thing that was always important to you was to not just go to the city, but was to meet the people who were playing pickup, meet the actual soccer players there who had that culture. What was that city's culture like? Because you didn't want to bring in people to play the game. You wanted, when we're in Philadelphia, you wanted Philadelphia players and that Philadelphia culture.
And
when we're in
Milk.
D.C., you wanted that. Columbus, you wanted that. All these cities that we've been to, you always sought out that guy who was kind of that liaison for the culture, and you learned about the culture before we put on the event.
Shout out to our boy Jake.
Yeah, man.
First of all, from Chicago. If you're going to talk about someone that represents a different city, our boy Jake, what'd you call him? State Farm?
Yeah, Jake
Jake
from
from State
Farm.
Farm.
Yeah.
So shout out for our boy
He's
Jake.
the insurance.
Right? So, but the thing, that's your point, right? So again, going back to like that awareness as a soccer player of having it sold to you, that's kind of what Travis Scott's doing. He's selling you a badge. He's not selling you the identity. He's not showing you. There's nothing authentic to like what's Travis Scott brand of soccer looks like. It's just a lot of smoke and mirrors and like cool swagger, right? But the authenticity, go ahead.
Where was the event?
California.
Travis Scott's from Houston.
See?
He's not even in.
No, that's the problem.
He's not even in his own city.
Kendrick Lamar needs to be over there, right? You know what I mean?
I'm just
I was about to say that would be our angle. I would have respected it if it was Kendrick.
Most definitely, because it tied in. And that's what we do when we go to each city. First of all, we get the underground local rappers to come out and perform because we are really trying to put on for that city.
Right.
That's the whole idea, is to really have it tied.
What's my boy name? Skinny what?
No, Sonny Ski?
Sonny Ski.
From Grand Rapids. Shout out Sonny Ski. And we have Ajax Stacks that works
I
here.
seen his music video the other day.
It's nice.
It was nice, and I was better. I was telling you, it's crazy because like me as a player, we'd play, and then he had his own little rap moment, and I told you, I was like, bro, that was fire. You just freestyle off the dome, and then look where he's at, and he's still like identity. He still raps about the city we're from, and I thought that was pretty cool. I thought that was pretty fire.
So I think what's interesting is we're talking about each city and each kind of big soccer culture that these different cities have, and they're all different, and they all do that. And I think the opportunity that's missed, as you're talking about with the Travis Scott deal, is that's a one-time event.
Exactly.
Okay, what would happen if Nike Rebellion, we all got together, everybody did this, and now all of a sudden we got the Bridge Street League, we have the Lincoln Monument League in DC, we have the Liberty Bell series in Philadelphia. We have the Willis Tower series. I'm sorry, the Sears Tower series in Chicago.
The Linden Boulevard series in Queens.
And we had all this.
Yeah.
But then at the end of that, all those champions for every league, we now had a USA Cup of street soccer, of a tournament of these like 6 or 12 cities that had these leagues going on. I think that's where the opportunity's missed.
Well, and it is, because you know what you're doing? You're giving all the power to the players to create the identity. You're taking it away from any other creation outside from governing bodies. It is completely up to the players of how that league is molded. Like, that's how we run Bridge Street League. Captain's meeting, decide the rules, decide the schedule, decide how it's going to be played, and we let them dictate the outcome. That's it. And it's completely into their hands. They are the ones that need the keys to the platform, because that's authenticity. When you look at what molds a culture, what molds it, it's the player's lifestyle. It's never the badge that's on top of it. And that's what we're missing here. We don't have that.
And then you can bring Travis Scott.
And then Travis Scott can come out.
Travis Scott can pull up.
But then Travis Scott can meet you. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
For real.
Like, this is the guy that you're trying to be, but because you're a millionaire and you got these cool things, because kids like to collect Pokemon cards, they want to collect your sneakers. Like, that's, I mean, I'm sorry. Like, it's so not, like, real.
Yeah, but another thing that we do, right? Like we talked about connecting with the communities, right? Connecting with the people when we go to these different cities, right? They could have put it in Houston. Houston has a sick soccer. Oh, Houston has a sick soccer scene, right?
If anything, I say Texas is probably one of the biggest soccer.
Right. So look, so
states
you
in
could have put it in Houston. You could have got, you know, the different areas and neighborhoods of the less fortunate, right? That needs this, right? But you put it in a hub like LA, right? Like I'm not saying they don't need it, but at the same time, like in these different cities that we go inside really those neighborhoods where they're coming out, man, and they really appreciate the opportunities, right? So
That's a good point.
I just think it's just missed on that level.
That's a good point, because one of the things when we worked with Dick's Sporting Goods was they would want to, obviously, from a business perspective, right, bring it to a Dick's Sporting Goods parking lot. Our angle was always like, no, we should go to where they already play pickup. Like, if we want to bring this to them, you want Dick's Sporting Goods to come to them, because first of all, if you show people love, if you show people you value them, they're going to replicate that. That's how business needs to be done, period. Right? Listen to the pod that you sent me.
Yeah.
You know how much that resonated with me. It was about one of these players opened up this Wendy's franchise, and he went from having like one franchise to 150. The biggest Wendy's franchise owner, that and Chili's, in the United States. And it was all because every time he went into the city, he did something for that city to help. He connected with that city, and he became the most successful. So all of a sudden, the Wendy's that didn't have any traffic got all this traffic because he did things outside of selling burgers that connected with the people. This is what's not happening.
Yeah.
Travis Scott is not connecting. Travis Scott is sitting there saying, buy this, buy this, buy this. Oh, I do soccer now, buy this.
Yeah.
And I don't appreciate it. I don't have respect for it.
And I agree. I think that there's a avenue here where street soccer is an incredibly very cool thing just as a spectator to watch, and there's a lot of culture and a lot of vibe in there, but it's not built up yet. And if you can be part of these companies that are the ones that build it up, every single fan, every single player is going to know that you're the ones that built that up, and they're going to respect that, and that's going to be where their loyalty goes.
Exactly.
If it's, you know, I'm just going to keep going with Nike because we're talking about them a little bit. If Nike put on this thing, every street soccer fan is now going to start going, I want to get my soccer shoes, my street stuff from Nike, because they're the ones that are building us up.
You know,
we're putting this culture together.
It's crazy you said it, because like going back to those Colombian street soccer players that I watch, they got their own brand that they trying to push, which is like, if you're a real street soccer player, you wear that brand. Yeah. You know what I mean? So like, it's crazy how you said that, because like, if they were smart, you know, if they're a company that wants to be continuous and be the top dog, why not do that?
Oh,
Like,
it's easy work. Are
it's
you kidding
easy,
me?
you know?
If you guys like from the Burton Heights neighborhood, right? Like if you came out here and they said, "Oh, we want to sponsor you," right?
Yeah,
right.
that's fire.
Fire,
That's
bro.
fire.
All the kids in this neighborhood, what would they be wearing?
Nike.
They be wearing Nike,
Exactly,
but
yeah,
they also
for
be
real.
wearing Cali Steel stuff.
Yeah, but
right?
I don't. It's just
Good point.
it's just so crazy, because you can't really judge them from that like perspective, because they're just so big.
Because they don't know what they don't know.
You know what I
But
mean?
the thing is, they partner with us.
Right.
So what we're saying to this, so Nike, we're going to look into this camera right here. We're doing the groundwork. We're here, baby. We want to do this for real, but give us the keys so we can drive. Like, that's how it's got to go. Like, you got to give the players the keys to do this thing for real without, like, you're going to get Travis Scott. You're going to get the people to come to this thing. And like, to your point, all of a sudden we're in Houston. Then Travis Scott is there.
Yeah.
Then we're in LA, right?
Yep.
And then you got Kendrick coming out there. You do it in New York. You got A$AP Rocky. You got whoever's coming.
We take it global, man. We can't leave my boy Drizzy Drake out.
And then we go to Toronto, right?
Toronto, yeah.
And then Drake's sitting there like, oh my God, like he's got to
Fire.
stay away from the youth
He's
park
a
and
soccer
stuff.
fan too, though.
Yeah.
Drake is a soccer fan too.
That's insane. What are you
Anyway,
kidding me?
but we see it in a micro level already at the Bridge Street League,
Yes.
right? You know as a player,
We know.
you know the sponsors that we have, and some of them are bars. If you're gonna choose a bar, there's plenty of bars in Grand Rapids, but if there's one in that area that is a sponsor of the Bridge Street League, you're gonna hit that bar up.
Yeah.
That's the bar you're gonna.
And that's showing love, though.
Right.
But that's also creating a little culture. Like it's all something the players have something they belong to that's theirs.
Yeah, because like
And that's real.
like how like you're sponsored by a team, like Garage Bar, like Chill FC, they're like, let's go to Garage Bar,
Right.
because they know we play for them, we're repping them, and they're showing love like, hey, y'all ain't gotta pay anything on us. So then you had that connection, so I just feel like they kind of disconnect from that a little bit just because they're trying to promote something so quick that they forget that there's just so much more,
There's so much more.
like a Pandora box.
But it's
I think you get too big to where you forget that it's the small communities that make the big, that make the population.
and that's the whole problem with. I mean, that ties into everything we just talked about.
Facts.
Everything's trying to be too big in America, rather than just letting it be small individual identities that then live together. Like the reason why him being a Chicago fan is different than me being a New York fan.
Right.
And those little differences, like we both, like he was listening to the Cubs on the radio today, and I was sitting there thinking, like, oh, that's not my guy that I listen to with the Yankees, right? But we have our own little thing that we.
culture.
And speaking, I'm going to go way back to what we were talking about. That's a big miss by the MLS is that they don't have local commentators and have it on local television for soccer.
Yeah, it's rare.
Because when you get that and you have these people that you hear and then do the analysis for you, you start a relationship with those people, whether you know what I mean.
Yep.
Like that voice now resonates with that team, that city, like for the Knicks, right? Like Clyde Frazier, like he is such an icon to me. Like listening to it,
it goes even further than that because then that analyst gets to know the team.
yeah.
So it's not
He
just
knows them.
I'm just not just talking soccer. I know this team. I know that this guy he's ailing from something or this guy is on a hot streak right now and I know why and I understand the inside and the workings of the team and you get that insight which makes that player or makes that team more relatable to the common fan.
Well, that's the whole thing we were just been talking about. It's from the ground up. You can't skip steps. That's the whole thing.
And I think that's why USA is not where we're at because of how you just said, where you're trying to go so fast in time that you
Play catch up.
that you forget where we come from.
I'm obviously my school is right here, right? I got there, I heard all the things. I told everybody, I don't want to know what happened before me. Okay? This is what we're gonna do now. And everything starting now at those elementary schools, right? At our early childhood school. Our coaches are getting in there, our players are getting in there, and they're actually becoming, right, the people that they want to look up to. Because if you got the quarterback that goes to recess, right, on a Thursday, throw the ball with the kids, talk to them, now those kids more likely want to go do what? They want to go watch the quarterback on Friday night, right? That's the same thing here. We cannot skip steps.
That's really the thing, just shortcuts. But
There's going to be a cultural wall right there, right?
when you get too big, you forget where you came from, man.
Exactly right.
Money changes you.
It's something you said though, true, Trey. It's across business, it's across the world, and it's a very common saying. But I feel like I kind of want to say it because it fits so well with what you're saying. Is one of the most dangerous words in the English language is "this is how we've always done it,"
Right.
and you're seeing that a lot right now.
Yes, you are. That's very true.
Is we're just doing this because it's already been done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
We
Nike's
we
slogan.
break that barrier though.
That's Nike's slogan. Just
Who has the balls to do it?
We got
Belly and the
Yeah, no doubt.
We do,
man. We
100%.
gotta-
We
But
got the
that's the thing is because it's more like what we represent is all collaboration. Like everything, all the dimes that we get go to what? Free for you.
Right.
The player, the
And that's-
player.
that's-
That's the whole thing, and we gotta make that transparent.
Yeah.
Like, so we're not trying to say, "Hey, Nike, feed our pockets." We're saying, "No, make this accessible for players," and you can, because you're paying Travis Scott how much to do that.
right.
Divvy that up into 10 different cities. Way
You
dope.
got something really
You got
good.
something
You got something
great.
big.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Go.
So I think it's interesting. I think it was a good discussion.
I think it was
I think
awesome.
we had a great conversation. I think we should end it on a couple of, maybe everybody get a chance to do their closing remarks of what they thought about the conversation, and we can go from there. Dre, we'll start with you.
Sounds good. I think just overall, again, piggyback, just we can't skip steps. Like I mean, it's clear as that. I mean, I don't think you need to, come up with some immaculate plan or try to, outthink someone else. Like no, like it's just the groundwork. Every day I wake up, go to the gym, right? Come home, help with my babies, and then I go to work.
Yeah, you can tell you go to the gym.
Right. So those are the things that we need to continue to push, number one, the conversations forward, and then also the sport, because that's how it's going to happen. This guy's a high school coach now, right? And he also coached AAU, stuff like that, club. But at the same time, he don't skip steps, right? I just went to his coaching camp a couple of days ago, and that's what's going to make those kids successful, not just in soccer, but in life. So if we start to like speak that, right, into our young student athletes, then I think that we're really going to accomplish something here. It can't be about just like, okay, here's the ball, we here. Nah, man, like you got to do X, Y, and Z before we get to Z, right? So
That's well said.
Cesar, final thoughts?
I mean, overall, this is like how we were just talking about. I just think the main points is just culture, tradition, and don't skip the steps. Like how we've been saying, like nobody likes to do the dirty work, but there's people that do it for you, and just appreciate the people that do. And it'll go a long way. Respect is very important, and I feel like if you have that respect from people, it'll take you a long way. And it's crazy because the same way society changes, the game changes as well, and not even soccer, football, basketball, anything, it's always changing to get better, to entertain. Because at the end of the day, you are entertaining. And what's more entertaining is when you have your favorite players doing what you want to do. So I just think, whatever makes it easy, accessible for those people that don't have that opportunity and people that get outlooked, just push that. And yeah, that's about it.
Yeah, I think for me, something I've said before, I think to you, Michael, is it's interesting when you look at the American culture and to realize that we've always fought against everything, doing everything the way other people have done it, the way Europe has done it. We revolted against England. We did all that.
Right side of the road.
But then when we get to feet instead of meters,
Yeah, right.
what we do our own stuff. We don't
Miles.
right miles and not the met. We're in our own thing. We use Fahrenheit, not Celsius. But then it gets to soccer, and we want to be Europe.
Yeah.
And I think it's really interesting that America needs to. What is American soccer? And that's how you're going to win in the game, is when you actually make American soccer.
Right. And I think the differentiator that we all need to really understand is that American soccer is North America. That includes Mexico.
you're right.
And having that Latino influence is so important, and that we cannot try to stray away from trying to be something because, oh, my grandpa was from, my grandpa's grandparents were from Italy, so I'm like, no, like the people that live next to us, our neighbors, are the ones that have this influence and have this passion in the game that we should allow to influence what we're doing here. And there's got to be more of a brotherhood, I think, when it comes to that. And I think players around, this is a time for you to really understand that opportunity is so ripe. Like if you look at these other sports, it is the players that dictate it. It's the lifestyle. It's their cultures. You guys, be loud enough, be strong enough, be different enough. Get out there, make your own swagger, make your identity, because we are craving it. The American culture is waiting for all these players to step up and be that one. They're like, that's it. That's what we like. The time is for the players right now. If we're going to change this thing, it's not going to come from the federation, a bunch of 70-year-old people, 65 that's got hand-me-down. No, it's going to be us, the people that actually know soccer. The players know more than the refs do at this point.
That's crazy.
You know what I'm saying? Even some, it's backwards. So players, you're in control of this. And I would just say, speak up, speak loudly, because this is your culture. You're in a moment to where you can recreate what it means to be an American soccer player.
It's facts.
All right.
Like that.
Well, thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you for paying attention. I hope you learned something. I hope you guys had some opinions. Please feel free to drop us any comments and requests that you guys might have and any questions. And we'd love to talk with you guys and continue this conversation moving forward.
Follow the new podcast, man. You know, this ain't no first time thing. You know, this gonna be current, you know, frequent, you know. Yeah. It's gonna get spicier.
Yeah, Travis Scott, say something.
Shout out Nike. Just do it.
Can we end with Caesar's pants?
Yeah.
Thanks, Coffee.
Yeah, right to fit.
No one can see your pants, brother. Camo. That was good. That was awesome.
Shit, folks.